Hello and welcome to the Culture Swally, a podcast dedicated to Scottish news and pop culture. My name is Nicky and I'm joined as always by the man who always shouts, "I'm a business manager overseas" when having sexual intercourse. It's Greg. How are you today, buddy?
Yeah, I've not shouted that for a while. It's funny that you should say that, because today, which is March the 4th, is actually my 17th wedding anniversary.
Oh shit! Oh, congratulations! Congratulations, man.
We both forgot until the weekend. There, we were out. We were out with another couple on Saturday. Like my daughter's friends, very nice couple. Been out with them a few times, and they were talking about how long each other had been together and how long been married. Mm-hmm. And we were like, "Oh fuck! Actually, it's our wedding anniversary the day after tomorrow." Oh. So yeah, not had a chance to buy a gift yet, but I suppose I better get myself into the shops tomorrow and pick up a token gift. I don't know what 17 years is. Don't know what how it's always like you get like 15 years was crystal apparently. Don't know what 16 was. 16 was like.
Did you get her a
wool or something?
Did you get her a copy of Crystal by New Order for?
Oh, I should have actually.
The Crystal.
She should have got me that.
Yeah, vinyl actually. Apparently, furniture is the gift for 17 years of marriage.
Oh, really? Right.
That's what it says here. This could be a little shite. I don't know.
Could be.
But
well, anyway, I got her like a nice ring last year because. Why did I buy her a ring last year? Last year was like her 16th. It wasn't like a special one. But yeah, she's been in the market for an eternity ring for a few years. So I had a few extra sheets last year, so I went and bought her a ring. And she bought me a PS5, so...
Hey, that's all right. Yeah, apparently 17th year it is furniture. So I don't know what you can... Well, you just bought that new chair a couple of weeks ago, so...
And
can you not palm that off?
Well, the ironic thing is she fucking hates it. Yeah, she's...
Your wife is quite wee. She must look like Ronnie Corbett sat in that chair.
Yeah, she does.
You need to get in a Pringle sweater.
Yeah, a Pringle sweater and some massive glasses.
Oh, it's a shame. Well, you'll have to come up with something else then, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'm glad all's good with you. I was in Scotland last week.
You were,
which was amazing. I went 48 hours in Aberdeen, so that was wonderful.
Off to see your beloved Dons at Pittodrie.
I did. Got to see beloved Dons lose 2-0 to St Johnstone, so that wasn't the best, but it was okay. It was a cold night at Pittodrie, but I got to have a macaroni pie, and me and our mutual friend smuggled in a half bottle of whiskey. So I smuggled it in because I looked the most, trustworthy, because they were searching people before you went in.
Really?
But yeah, they were searching. Yeah, there was a security guard was searching the guy in front.
Wow.
And as he was searching him and he was having an argument with him, I just slipped past and went through the turnstile. But then we were sat in like the fucking 4th row. So I couldn't, and there was a security guard right in front of us. So I couldn't take it out and take a nip because we bought it like literally on the way to the ground,
right,
to the shop. So I had a genius idea. So just before half time, I went up and bought a large Coke from the kiosk. So in a cup, went to the toilet, poured out half the Coke, poured in the half bottle of whiskey,
Excellent.
And then came back to my seat.
Yeah.
So I took a swig, handed it to my mutual friend. He took a swig and his face just turned and he went, "How fucking much whiskey did you put in that?" And I was like, "Well, the whole half bottle. What am I supposed to do?" He's like... He was not amused, but fair play, we tanned it throughout the second half, so it was all fine. So we're warm and toasty after that.
And that would have made the defeat a little easier to bear, maybe.
It was a little bit, yeah. So no, it was all good. I had a good few pints of Belhaven Best, a few pints of Tennent's. I came back with 30 Rowies in my luggage, so that'll keep me going for a wee while as well. So yeah, it was all good. So stocked up on everything.
Hand luggage only, or?
No, I had,
checked a bag.
Thankfully, because I booked my flight with Miles and I could only book it with checked baggage. So I just took hand luggage on the way over because I wasn't there for like 48 hours. I had like a couple of jumpers and that was it, and my big coat. But I took a rucksack in my bag, and then on the way back I checked in the big bag and just took my rucksack because obviously I had a birthday present from you and from our mutual friend that were glass and fragile, so I took them in my rucksack. Thankfully a mutual friend had lots of bubble wrap, so I was able to wrap it all fine. So yeah, I checked in the Rowies and they made it all here safely, so they're in my freezer and waiting to be demolished. I mean, I'm only going to have one maybe every couple of weekends. I'm not going to go mental, because obviously
they're just the most...
I'll end up like a right fat bastard.
Yeah, Rowies are famously mostly lard, so...
Yes, yeah. And I did a good deed as well. I was I was buying a gift at the airport shop, and the girl said to me, "Oh, would you like, you know what they're like, oh, you're interested in this for X amount? So could you interest you in this 3-pack of jam for, it's on offer." And I looked at it and I was like, it's like Fortune and Mason jam, like a little 3-pack. It was like jam, marmalade, and lemon curd.
Right.
And it was, so instantly I'm just like, no, it's okay, thank you. And I looked down at it, and it was 25 quid, reduced to £2.25.
Fucking hell.
So I went, that's a bargain. And she went, yeah, it is. I need to get rid of 29 of them today. And I was like, fuck it, I'll take one.
Yeah.
And the girl went, really? I was like, yeah, why not? It's 29. She was like, oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I was like, it's okay, good luck getting rid of them. So of course I bought them, and I looked on the back, and it was best before February 2024.
Yeah.
And this was the 29th of February.
Yeah.
So I was like, fine. Came home, next morning I was having some toast, and I thought, I'll have the marmalade. But when I opened them, the individual jars are dated May 2024. So I was like, oh, bonus.
Yeah.
So there you go. Tight Aberdonian, but I was happy to spend $2.25 on some 25 quid's worth of jam. So I've got
bougie jam for a bargain.
Yeah, so I've got the box displayed in the apartment for to impress anyone that comes round. So
yeah, worst staying the night here. You get like the best of gear on your toast in the morning.
I might even stretch to
a
buttery fair away for.
Maybe don't.
Anyway.
Maybe don't do that if you want to stay again.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, very valid
point.
point.
Do you remember when we went to years ago? I remember we went to watch Scotland play Belarus at Hampden, and we smuggled in a hip flask with Southern Comfort in it. And
yes, I do.
I remember thinking, this is fine. You know what I mean? This will be fine. This is fine. And we were in the stand, sort of shouting unkind things. Well, maybe not unkind things. Accurate, but perhaps perceived unkind things at Barry Ferguson, and and just passing this hip flask kind of back and forth. And I sort of became aware that they were obviously it was Scotland games, so it's like a Saturday afternoon at Hampden, so quite a big family sort of turnout. And there was quite a few guys with their sons and daughters around us, and I caught a few disapproving looks as we were passing the hip flask back and forth. But I was really surprised. I just thought, it'll be fine. It's just a wee hip flask. Everybody does it, surely. But it turns out not. Not everybody does it. Yeah. So anyway, there you go. We got beat. We fucking lost that game as well. That's what we did. That's
a moral of the story. Don't smuggle booze into the ground, or your team will lose.
Yeah, sadly. Yeah. Don't play a midfielder who apparently can only run sideways.
Barry the crab. Fucking prick. Hated him. Anyway, right. Well, shall we have a look at what's been happening in Scotland over the last couple of weeks, Greg?
Cue the jingle.
Hello, this is the Outer Hebrides Broadcasting Corporation, and here is what's been going on in the news.
Okay, Greg, what is the first story you'd like to share with me and our lovely listeners on this episode of the Culture Swally?
Well, this story it's sort of broken through the confines of the Scottish media, and I've actually seen a couple of memes related to it. So, this is our listeners are getting this a couple of weeks after we record it, so I'm sure they'll know about it, but it's about the Willy Wonka event in Glasgow that turned out to be such a shambles that it became national news.
Now, I've seen a lot about this on social media, and there was a few bits in the Scottish newspapers. I have actually kind of avoided too much because I had a feeling you were going to pick this. So I'm looking forward to hearing about this properly.
Well, I was going to leave it alone initially because there was some disappointed kids, and don't like to have a laugh at the expense of disappointed kids. But then I saw this article that says so it's from the Scottish Sun on the 28th of February, and it starts off, absolute shambles. I was made to dress as a sexy Oompa Loompa at the failed Wonka event. It was so embarrassing, and I still haven't been paid. So this is Act actor Jenny Fogarty, 25. She was hired for the event. So the event was cancelled halfway through the first day. And I think parents were paying quite a lot of money in advance to go. But Jenny was hired for it. Furious parents complained, not about Jenny, but about how shit the event was, and demanded refunds. It had been billed as a magical and immersive experience for families, but the event, which is run by the company House of Illuminati, cost parents 35 quid a ticket and left kids in tears due to how poor the production the props were. And then if you look at the pictures, they are fucking bobbins. They are. Parents have claimed that, I don't know, I'm sure they're not telling lies, that they waited 45 minutes in a queue to go through the entire event in just 7 minutes. Police were even called in following a backlash from fuming families as they vented their frustration to the organisers. And workers have lifted the lid on the chaos inside the venue, insisting that they were left embarrassed. Jenny said she was given a 15-page script to learn the night before. I don't think Oompa Loompa said that much. Just basically sing songs.
I think so.
Sing songs, roasting fat kids and kids that eat too much chewing gum and stuff like that. And she was horrified to find that the Oompa Loompa costume she was given was the sexy version, because apparently there's a sexy version, after being handed it just moments before the event started. But I'm looking at the picture of Jenny in her sexy Oompa Loompa costume, and, you can see her bra straps, but that's about as far as the sexy suggestiveness goes. The performer told the Sun, "I was there from Saturday. I was hired as an Oompa Loompa. I didn't get a costume until Saturday morning, and about an hour before people started to arrive. I noticed that the costumes we were given, all of them were female, and we were given the sexy version as opposed to the traditional ones. Some people had t-shirts underneath to give it a bit more modesty, but I just had a lacy shirt. The wigs were very cheap. We were just handed an Amazon box that probably had arrived that morning." Having been given their script the night before, Jenny says they were asked to improvise, but having had no time to rehearse, it eventually fell apart. It sounds my heart is going out to Jenny a bit because it sounds fucking appalling. Yeah. She added it was shocking, it was embarrassing, to be honest. We were all trying our best, all the actors, to make it work, but we were given just 12 hours to learn our 15-page script and told to just improvise. It's not easy to improvise a whole show. The actor also claims that she and her fellow workers are yet to be paid for the event, despite being offered £16.66 an hour for the role, and she revealed that some people were forced to give statements to the police after officers were called by fuming parents on Saturday. She said, "By the end, understandably, people were getting really annoyed. That's when security came up to me and told me they were shutting it down. When we went back to our cars, that's when we saw the police had showed up. One of the actors who played a Wonka, must be more than one Willy Wonka, gave a statement to the police. Billy Cool, the director of the company, was forced to issue an apology for the sheer and utter disappointment, blaming technical difficulties for the chaos, and he said everybody would get a refund. He told STV, Scottish television for people who live abroad, "I'm so sorry to everybody for the sheer and utter disappointment. We did decide to continue the event in the best manner in which we could. The event has been compared to the Fire Festival scandal." Did you ever see the Netflix documentary about that?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah. Train operator ScotRail tweeted, "Fire Festival, Scotland's version." Not sure that's very helpful, ScotRail. Maybe to distract from their own appalling service. After the Wonka event in Glasgow, one family told the Scottish Sun that everyone was kicking off. Kids were in tears. Paula Graham and her husband Andy, her daughter Anna, and a family friend had travelled for the event but slammed the experience. She said, "In my eyes, I thought it was going to be some kind of light show with actors. I felt they were going to have sweets, and they were talking about a chocolate river, but it was just a big warehouse with some props in it." The actual experience took 2 minutes to walk through because there was nothing there. I did see another article that said somebody had just sort of scattered some wrapped up pick and mix on top of a kind of painter's table or something like that. Yeah, Paula says she couldn't even call it an event. It was terrible. This guy was saying, "Just have a wee walk through and you'll get a refund." Yeah, so there's a lot of pictures online of it. It is basically like a big empty warehouse. It doesn't even look like the bar's open. If the bar had been open, it might have been a bit easier to tolerate for the parents at least. But yeah, so it's made national news. I've seen a few memes kicking about, just kind of roasting the the whole thing, but it does look to have been an absolute shambles as the article starts off.
But then it's quite a realistic experience, though, isn't it? Because that's the whole point of fucking Willy Wonka. Kids end up in tears. I mean, most of them end up dead, don't they? So, like, to be fair, they're lucky they just ended up in tears.
Yeah.
A point I want to come to is you do get a trend, and I mean, it's been going on for years, especially around Halloween, that you'll have a sexy nurse or a sexy police officer or a sexy teacher or, I don't know, a sexy dentist. Who the fuck is wanting to dress up as a sexy Oompa Loompa? Like,
I mean, who finds a sexy Oompa Loompa alluring, I think, is the bigger question, you know?
I don't know, right, darling. Yeah. I need to ask you, like, I've got this costume and some orange paint. Yeah. Do you mind?
I know.
Dressing up for me tonight.
Who wants to shag a 1.5-foot jaundiced guy with green hair? You know what I mean?
There's someone for everyone out there, Greg. So I'm sure there are plenty of people that want to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just I don't find that alluring at all. But yeah, this has obviously made national news. Been a lot of memes about it. I did see one guy on Instagram ranting about it, saying, "Look, I agree it's a shambles, but can you believe somebody phoned the fucking police about this? Like, what did they say? Like, as kids crying in the warehouse, they're only getting half a cup of lemonade. Like,
yeah, I know.
Police would be like, oh, sorry, hen, I'm just dealing with a murder here. Like, I'll be along in 5 minutes. Like, for fuck's sake.
The thing is, like, even the sign that's cancelled the event is just basically someone's taken a thick black marker, ripped like half a cardboard box off and written on it, event cancelled. But the thing is, they've started writing cancelled, but the C, A and the N are really big, and they've realised that they don't have enough room there for the rest of the letters, so they've had to like write the rest of the word cancelled in smaller letters. It says, by the House of Illuminati, contact House of Illuminati. I can't read the rest of the email address, I think it says at Gmail, and then just sorry in capital letters at the bottom. Yeah, just a fucking absolute shambles. So I'm trying to find what the...
Are we sure this wasn't a task on The Apprentice or something? Because... It sounds like it. Some of the shite you see on there, it sounds like it might be exactly like that.
Yeah. Well, I've introduced my youngest daughter to The Apprentice, so we've been watching this latest series, and she's 13, and I mean, some of the contestants that they get on there are just absolute fucking roasters, and even she's like, is this guy for real? You know, they get the Dr. Azif and the Hindi DJ guy with the beard. You know, the guy who I think he led the first task for the guys. She's just looking at me like, is this real? It's like, yes.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yep. Some absolute fucking diamonds on that show. I've been watching the latest series as well, and you're just shaking your head. Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Really?
It's
entertaining though.
I remember us having a chat about The Apprentice years ago on the WhatsApp group that we have with our mutual friend, and me saying, the contestant I always remember is the absolute fanny Stuart Brand, who called himself Stuart Brand, the brand or something. You were like, yeah, R.I.P. I had to Google it. I was like, oh shit, I feel bad now.
Yeah, Stuart Baggs.
Stuart Baggs, that was
himself.
it. Yeah, Stuart Baggs.
The brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a shame. He was entertaining.
He was entertaining. Yeah. And he got through to the interviews with Alan Sugar's like scary minions that just absolutely, one of them just, I think it was Claude, it was just the bald fella, just fucking absolutely ripped him to pieces.
Annihilated. Yeah, I'll never forget him. He walked into his interview with Margaret and his face lit up and he went, hello, Margaret. And she just gave him a fucking death stare. And just went, hello, sit down.
Anyway,
poor Stuart.
Poor old Stuart.
Oh, well. So that was the Wonka experience.
Yep. Yeah. Absolute disaster. I hope our girl Sophie there gets paid eventually. But that's my first story for this week. What's your first story in this episode?
Well, Greg, this episode will be coming out on Thursday, the 21st of March. So I am delighted to say that our listeners have 4 days to prepare for Scotland's next National Day.
Oh.
We can give this an announcement on the Swally. So this is from the Scottish Sun this week, and the headline is The Lorne Supremacy. Scotland's favourite breakfast treat, not by me, is to be honoured with the launch of the world's first ever National Square Sausage Day. The nation's passion for the iconic meaty morsel inspired butcher Craig Chalmers to invite Scots to tuck into feasts featuring the adorned, right-angled, Gutbuster. It gives me indigestion.
Yeah.
I fucking hate square sausage. And he selected March the 25th as the day to celebrate the traditional delicacy because 25 is a square number. Craig, commercial manager at We Hay Meat, that's a fucking great name for a company. We Hay Meat in Ayrshire said, "We have a genuine passion for the square sausage and we're very excited to declare 25th of March the world's first national square sausage day. What's not to love about a square sausage? Well, Craig, where do I start?" Craig reckons there's good reason why millions of Scots drool over the tummy-filling lip smacker, often turning up their noses at the alternative Lynx version. Give me a Lynx version any day. And he has also spotted a potential and unexpected advantage that could give the flat, four-sided banger better green credentials than your everyday cylindrical sizzler. This whoever's written this is having a fucking field day in this article. He added, "It's locally produced and the perfect shape for a breakfast roll, with no slicing required, and it winna fall out."
Well, he's definitely got you there.
He added, and because it's thinner, it takes less time to cook than a Lynx sausage. Meaning that you switch to square sausage, you're taking a step in reducing your energy consumption. And he's got a point, to be fair. He's got a point.
The fact that it won't fall out, I guess, can reduce your anxiety as well, if that's something that you might typically worry about, you know.
The origins of the square sausage, commonly known as Lorne sausage, remain a mystery, but its status as an iconic Scottish food is undeniable. A well-known Scottish myth is that it was invented by Glasgow comedian Tommy Lorne, contrary to the widely held belief that a West Coast butcher in the Firth of Lorne created it. Craig is now urging sausage maniacs to mark the inaugural day by enjoying a slice, not just for breakfast, but for lunch and dinner too. His firm will celebrate by donating square sausage meals to the Daily Community Pantry and Daily Primary School and sharing tips on social media on the best ways to cook and serve a slice. The family business prides itself with a commitment to quality traditional flavours, producing more than 21 million slices a year. They also have a skinny range containing up to 75% less fat and 45% fewer calories than the standard range, offering a healthy alternative. For chippy lovers, it also offers a chippy style range. They're 700 gram. Oh no, I'm not giving you a promotion for that because it's talking about how much they cost in Tesco's and stuff. So, Greg, it's going to be National Square Sausage Day on the 25th of March in Scotland. How are you going to be celebrating?
Well, probably not eating square sausage because I'll be here. But although you can sometimes get them here, like the frozen ones.
You get them parking shop.
Yeah, I've seen them there a couple of times. Yeah. Do you know how I think square sausage was invented, right? And because, you know, we Scots have got a hundreds of years reputation for being very practical problem solvers, right? I mean, you know, the amount of things we invented, fucking penicillin, all sorts of weird and wonderful things that have basically made the world a better place. I think the square sausage was invented by Solway fishermen, right? Who were given like sausage sandwiches for their pieces when they were out at sea, but because of, you know, as the ships rocking about, they found that the sausages kept rolling out of their pieces onto the deck, right? So they were like, oh, this is fucking no use. So they've gone back to shore, and one of the guys has created a flat sausage, a square sausage, and said, here, this won't fall out your piece on choppy seas. And that's why we've got square sausage. And his name was fucking Johnny Lorne or something like that.
Johnny Lorne. Sounds like fucking
Hamish
guitarist in Razorlight or something.
Hamish Lorne.
You know, I know you're taking a piss, but you could be onto something possibly, because that's how, just spoken about butteries and rowies at the start. That's how they were invented. It was to give to the fishermen because they're high in fat content, so it gives them energy, and they don't go stale for about 2 weeks.
Right.
So if you gave them like bread, the bread would go stale and you'd be a bit loaded with bread, but because of the high fat content, it gave them energy to keep fishing. You never know. You could be onto something there. I don't know. But yeah, I never thought about that. I have to admit that, often when you're having a sausage sandwich, a Lynx sausage will roll out.
Yeah, you squeeze it too tight, it can pop out, can't it?
Yeah, maybe he's got a point there. But
so national, so I have to put that in the calendar then and see if I can get a wee. Well, my mother's coming on Saturday. I could get her to stick a few packets in her suitcase, bring them over.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah, smuggling pork into fucking the Middle East. Yeah, it should be fine.
Yeah.
Get a phone call, Greg. I'm at customs.
Yeah.
Nah, they don't do anything. They just take it off you. In fact, I don't even know if they'd bother nowadays.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fine. So there you go. National Square Sausage Day. Let us know, listeners, how you intend to celebrate on the 25th of March. And I'm glad that we were able to give listeners a heads up ahead of that.
Yeah. So I'll have to put that in your calendar then, and maybe I'll get some. Maybe I'll go to Parks and Shop and see if I can get like a hard roll, like a well-fired roll, stick it in.
Yeah. Bit
of brown sauce.
Definitely. Anyway, what else have you seen this week, Greg?
Well, my next story isn't a funny story, as we sometimes do, have stories that aren't silly in our news roundup, but it's a wee bit of extra culture for this week's episode of the Culture Swally. So it comes from the Daily Record, and on the 29th of February, the headline is Scots software developer shock after song he wrote 2 decades ago becomes a hit. So this is David McCallum, not the guy from The Man from U.N.C.L.E., who I only found out recently died. I always used to quite like David McCallum.
Yeah.
He died.
He did a good song with Bernard Butler.
It's David McCallum, you clown.
I fucking do it. It's a joke.
It's black. Yeah, so a software developer was shocked to discover one of his songs has become an overnight hit nearly 20 years after he wrote it. David McCallum was the lead singer in a band called The Defended. The now 36-year-old and his pal Scott Chalmers wrote the track almost 18 years ago when David was only 19. They wrote the track called Man on a Hill in Scott's parents' house, and his mum was the first to hear it. It was later played on a Ukrainian radio station, leading to the release gaining a cult following in the Eastern European country. Fans investigated online, but the band, which formed in 2006, had split up in 2011. David Scott and their bandmates Fraser Bringen and Lewis Pytranik, I don't know if that's a stage name, found it hard to keep the band together as they lived in different places, Dubai, Perth, Cumbernauld and Glasgow. Speaking to Glasgow Live, former lead singer and guitarist David said, "We wrote the song in Scott's mum and dad's house when we were about 19. We were trying to write a catchy song and trying to fit into the indie music scene at the time. The first person to hear it was Scott's mum. We played it at a few live gigs, people liked it. It was played on the radio back home, and we then recorded a 4-track demo, which is where the recording came from. We posted it to MySpace, as a lot of bands got their music out at the time. I think Lily Allen started off getting her music out on MySpace, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. Yep.
Facebook, Twitter weren't really a big thing then. We were only told this week that our song was played on Ukrainian radio in 2013. Then somebody uploaded a clip of the song to SoundCloud and created a forum asking if anybody could identify the band. That was in 2015 or 2016, so people began searching for this lost song, guessing where the band were from and when it was wrote. This is where it gets a bit tricky, because when we broke up, I took all their music off the internet. I didn't even have a copy of the song until this week. David said the Lost Wave group on Reddit collects and puts a spotlight on lost music, and after years of searching, fans discovered The Defended. One user's detailed YouTube search, which they have put quotation marks on there, I don't know if they're trying to imply that his YouTube search wasn't detailed, discovered a video from 15 years ago which was taken by a member of the audience who had taken a clip of the band playing Man on a Hill live and uploaded it online. At the time, the video had around 200 views, but overnight it gained 15,000. The group had no idea that a search was underway. David added that we didn't find out until this week. We woke up and it turned out millions of people had heard our song. The song became an online hit, some fans even covering their own version, and David ended up doing some investigating of his own into his own song. He explained, I then went online, searched up the song, and there were tons of videos with hundreds of thousands of views, comments saying, I can't believe this has been found, and since then the attraction has grown. Since the news, the former band have been chatting every day, reminiscing about their days of gigs, songwriting in college. He said, it's brought us back together, it's been great to connect again, we have dug up old songs and pictures from our tours. The band have now set up new social social media accounts, and their music can also be streamed on Spotify and Apple Music, where you can find the hit song Man on a Hill. David added, I've been chatting to a community who found the song. They're part of it now. It's really exciting, and it's been a strange week, to say the least. So that's quite a nice wee story there. A bit more Scottish music getting out. People searching for it and stuff. Yeah. So
it's lovely, I think. Yeah. That's wonderful. It's so nice to hear things like that. And it's something that's so unexpected. And wow, like for a Ukrainian radio station to pick it up, it's insane.
Yeah.
But you just never know. Like it's so wonderful, people create this content. I mean, Christ, it's sometimes unbelievable. We're sat here in our fucking rooms just recording this podcast, and then all of a sudden, like last month, we had like something like 75 downloads from Delaware, and you're like, what? That's bizarre.
Yeah.
Amazing. We've hit an audience there. It's lovely to hear about stuff like that, and it's really wonderful that the music's getting out there, and he's finally getting some recognition as well, and good on him, and that's going to really inspire him as well.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder if they'll get the band back together and maybe a bit of a reunion and see if they can rekindle the old magic.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Oh, it's wonderful. I really love hearing stories like that.
Yeah,
beautiful.
I remember when I played in the band and we lived in Aberdeen, but I wasn't living in Aberdeen actually. I was still living in Aberdeenshire at the time, and we wanted to get gigs in Aberdeen, but you couldn't get a gig in town unless you had a demo. So one of the guys, Alan Young, who now is one of the chief editors on The Scotsman, by the way. I don't know if he still plays music, but he found a Canadian guy who lived in Cults called Sven, who would record a demo for us for 180 quid. So we all chipped in, and he invited us to his house, and it was like a proper... I mean, it was in like a nice little part of Cults. I mean, most of Cults is pretty nice, right? Yeah, he just seemed to live with like a load of sort of hippie-ish kind of people. It's kind of people coming and going all day. In hindsight, he might have been selling quite a lot of weed as well, potentially. But he had egg boxed one of his rooms, and we had to record. We didn't like all play together. We had to record like individually. You know what I mean? Like it was really hard. I found it really difficult. But we did get a couple of gigs off the back of it. And Jim Gellity played one of the songs off the demo on his Sunday night unsigned bands show that he used to do on North Sound on a Sunday night.
That's impressive, man. It's really impressive.
So before I was like a world famous podcaster, I was like a little known guitarist in a little known band. So this isn't my first. This isn't my first brush with fame, Nicky.
Have you still got those demos? We could play a track.
They are on. So Philip, who played the drums, he went off to Canada to be a video game developer, and he put some songs on his Facebook page years ago, but he took his Facebook page down, and I've been meaning to... I actually got in touch with one of his brothers last year to ask him if he had an email address for Philip, because I'd quite like to hear them again, and he gave me his email address, but I keep forgetting to get in touch with them, but I will now that I've spoken about it. Now that I've spoken about it, I'll get them, and I can, because he had some photographs of his recording and stuff as well, so I won't put the pictures on our social media because that sounds incredibly fucking self-indulgent and look at me, but I'll send them over to you to have a look at.
Well, you remember when I send you this the draft of this episode for you to check in case you want me to cut anything out, then that'll remind you that you should get in touch with them. So you will. And I'll try and remember and ask you for an update on future episodes.
Okay, sounds good. Anyway,
wonderful. So
that's my last story. A little bit of additional culture. What are we finishing on this week?
It's a short story because I've got a little game for afterwards. But I really wanted to include this because I just love this. So it's the headlines from Scottish Sun this week, and it says the headline is Cartoon Life. A Scots acting legend has joked, "My life is complete," after his character appeared on The Simpsons. Trainspotting star Robert Carlyle hailed his brief appearance on the US cartoon with its 480,000 X/Twitter followers. So now it's just X/Twitter. It's not X formerly known as Twitter, X sometimes known as Twitter, it's just X/Twitter. So it comes as the much-loved show crossed the Atlantic for a Scottish adventure. Marvel star Karen Gillan also announced a guest appearance in the same episode of The Simpsons. The actress, 37, took to Instagram to reveal that she bagged a role in the animated series. The latest instalment, A Bonnie Romance, will see groundskeeper Willie kidnapped to Scotland. Bart and The Simpsons follow, only to be met with Homer's worst nightmare. Doesn't say what that is, though. And during the episode, the famous yellow characters travel in a plane. Carlyle shared a picture of the plane from the popular animation show, and the plane is called Plane Spotting Airlines, and it's in orange, and the tail fin is Begbie.
Oh, brilliant.
But Simpsons Begbie. So it's Robert Carlyle done as a Simpsons character. It's Begbie.
Is it the classic kind of two fingers up picture?
No, he doesn't have the two fingers up, but it's all that's missing is the two fingers. I'll send you the image, but it's the kind of Begbie. It's instantly recognizable as Begbie, and it's the plane spotting font. It's fucking beautiful. Carlyle shared a picture which showed the aircraft branding, a nod to the 90s hit. Fans were loving it as they rushed online to share their thoughts. One wrote, "Yes!" Another wrote, "Love this." A third added, "That's when you know you've made it." I think Bobby Carlyle probably knows he's already made it by now. While final one commented, "The best thing I've seen all day." So there you go, Bobby Carlyle featuring on The Simpsons. I think Karen Gillan actually features, she does have a voice role in the episode, but just a nice little nod just to have, Plane Spotting Airlines and just a photo of Bobby Carlyle there. Beautiful.
That's brilliant. I tweeted him once years ago, and he liked the tweet. He went through a wee phase on Twitter of asking people for music suggestions on Saturday mornings. Like, well, we'll wish this morning, and I suggested Tea for the Tillerman, the album by Cat Stevens, and I got a wee like of Bobby Carlyle. That was. Oh, that's lovely. That was all that I needed. He didn't.
That's all you need.
I mean, it'd be nice if he commented and said, "Oh, great idea" or something. Great choice, but I'll take the wee heart. Fine.
A wee like is sometimes all that you need. Yeah. I look how excited we get when we get a like from somebody famous from Scotland. Yeah. Little things like that just make your day. Yeah. Kind of make you all excited. So, have you got anything else this week, Greg, from Scotland?
Nope, that's all.
Okay, I've just got a tiny little game. It's not as fun as the one we played last episode, but I thought it was interesting. Okay. And I thought it would be, because there's some shocks here. So, recently, there was a list published about it was celebrity net worth, and they printed a list of the richest actors in the world. And the Scotsmen have plucked out the 21 Scottish actors that are on that list. Now, I'm not going to make you name 21, but I thought we could name the top 10.
Okay.
And I can run through the 21 afterwards, but top 10. So what I will tell you, and you can name them in any order, just shout out names and I'll let you know. I'm not going to make you list them in order.
Okay.
Now, what I would say is out of the top 10, 9 of them have featured on the Culture Swally.
Right, okay.
The one that hasn't featured on the Culture Swally, I wouldn't even call an actor. Oh. So I'm not sure, and I think we might get her out the way first so we can concentrate on the other 9. Because this could be a 7-hour long episode and I don't think you'd get it. You might get it eventually. No, it is, she was in 17 episodes of a US TV series, but she's predominantly known as being a singer, I would say.
Oh.
And she is number 6 on the list.
Not the Rain McIntosh of Deacon Blue. She'd done a bit of that, no?
I'd say it was late 90s. Oh. She was at her pomp.
What's her name? Is it Debbie Gibson?
Debbie Gibson. Debbie Gibson's American, isn't she?
Oh, she's born in Scotland, I think.
Is she?
I think so, yeah. I'm sure she was born in Scotland and raised in... Maybe I'm mixing up with somebody else. Let's see.
Debbie Gibson. Was she not like a 80s teen American singer sensation? Yeah, Debbie Gibson was American.
Yeah, she was. I must be mixing her up with someone then. I don't know.
I think you definitely are.
You'll have to tell me.
I'll give you a clue. I remember a friend I used to go to school with, he asked for their album for his Christmas present, her band's album, and his granny went into HMV to ask, and she said, "Have you got the latest album by Cabbage?"
Is it Shirley Manson?
And yes, Shirley Manson, yes. So Shirley Manson's number 6 on the list. Anyway,
what TV show was she in?
She was in 17 episodes of the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, apparently so. I'd stopped watching it by that point.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so we've got 9 to get. I'll give you a clue. As I say, all of them have featured, all the 9 remaining have featured on the Swally. Right. There's 8 males, 1 female on the list.
Well, I think the female's probably Karen Gillan, right?
No, Karen Gillan is at number 18 out of the 21.
Okay, well, I'll go with the boys then. So, Jerry Butler must be in there.
Jerry Butler is number 1 on the list, with a fortune of $80 million.
Is he really? What's
Boys done good. I don't know. Those fucking America's Fallen or whatever must have done well. I don't know. I don't know if he's got some sideline, but yeah, apparently.
Say selling Avon. We're never going to get him for your Da sells Avon if he's fucking got all that, if he's sitting all that money in the bank. Billy Connolly Billy Connolly in there?
Sir Billy Connolly at number 5 with 20 million.
Okay, Ewan McGregor must be in there.
Ewan McGregor is number 3 with 25 million.
Okay, so how many have I said? 3 or 4?
You've got 4. You've got Butler, McGregor, Connolly, and Manson.
Oh, yes, okay. McAvoy in there? James. James, obviously.
James McAvoy is number 4 on the list with 20 million.
Wow. Let's see. Is the guy who plays Chibs in Sons of Anarchy in there?
No.
Okay. Scottish actors that are really, really famous that have been in the Culture Swally.
Come on, this is episode, 96? You'd think you'd be able to roll a few off by now. Think of the Swally tally. That might give you... In fact, I don't know if that'll give you any clues,
I'm pretty sure it won't. I'm pretty sure Cosmo's not on it.
Cosmo's number 11.
Is he? Oh.
8 million. Cosmo's worth 8 million, apparently.
Fucking... No wonder Butler isn't turning up at his burn supper. So what, I've got 3 left to get?
No, you've got 1, 2, 3. You've got 5 left to get.
Oh, 5?
Out of the top 10.
Oh, fuck.
Out of the top 10. You've got 5 out of the top 10.
Oh, fuck.
I can start giving you clues if you want.
Well, hang on. Give me a second. Hey, Scottish guy act. I guess that are alive.
Yeah, they're all alive, yeah.
Okay. Is Mullen in there?
No, Peter Mullen's not on the top 21 list at all.
I just said, oh, fucking hell, and a little thumbs down emoji came up on your screen there.
Fucking hell.
I think it's because you shook it.
Didn't work for me.
It's because you shook your head. Heyman won't be in there, will he?
No, Heyman's not on there, no.
You have to start giving me clues. I can't recall it. I can't think.
Okay, I'll do reverse order. Number 9 and 10 have played the same role.
In what? They played the same... Number 9 and 10 have both played the same role.
So number 9 and 10 on the list have played the same role.
Right.
So they have played the same character. One has very elegant hands.
Oh, Capaldi. Is Capaldi in there?
Capaldi's number 9
wow.
with 10 million.
Wow, good for Capaldi. Fucking hell.
So the number 10 should be kind of an easy one now for you, shouldn't it?
Tennant. Yeah.
Tennant, yes. Number 10 with 9 million.
So how many's that left? 3?
You've got 3 of the top 10 to get, yes. 1 female, 2 males.
Oh, and Karen Gillan's not, and she's number 18, you said, right?
She's number 18, yeah.
Yeah.
We've recently covered her ex-husband, who is now dead, work earlier this year.
Oh, Tilda Swinton.
Yes, Tilda Swinton, number 8 with 14 million.
Right, so how many's left? 2 left?
2. You've got number 2 and number 7 to get. Number 2's a difficult one, I'll tell you that. I would say number 2, we have covered him quite recently on the Swally. He was in something
John
very
Hannah.
recently. No, he's not on the list at all. No.
Oh, is he not?
Number 2, we featured quite recently on something. However, I would say he's no longer known for being an actor. He's amassed this fortune because of his fame of being a late night talk show in America.
Craig Ferguson.
Craig Ferguson's number 2 on the list with 30 million.
Right, okay.
So you've got number 7. It's the last one. Come on, man. 7. Come on. 7. Think of it. A massive Scottish actor. To earn this money. No. To earn this money, you must have been big in America.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
And he was very big in America quite recently. He didn't make all this money by selling fucking computer burgers.
Oh, Coxey, of course, yeah.
Brian Cox, number 7 with 15 million. To round out the top 10, well, the rest of the list, sorry. Number 12, Richard Madden.
Okay.
Number 13, Armando Iannucci.
Oh.
Wouldn't class him as an actor, really, but I suppose he's been in a few things. Number 14, Martin Compston.
Really?
Yeah. Number 15, Bobby Carlyle.
Oh.
Number 16, Alan Cumming.
Right.
Number 17, Sam Heughan.
Oh, yeah, from Outlander, yeah.
Number 19, Rose Leslie.
Oh, yeah.
Number 20, Laura Fraser.
Really? Fraser's out there, is she?
All that Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul money.
Yeah, I suppose so.
And number 21, Butler's nemesis, Ian Glenn. Now, I dispute that list because there is no fucking way Kevin McKidd is not on that list after all those years of Grey's Anatomy money.
Yeah.
There is no fucking way he's not on that list. So I think that list's a load of shite. But hey, it filled 10 minutes. Okay. But yeah, I dispute that list. But we'll see anyway. But yeah, well, that was good. Good. I can't believe it took you so long to get cocks.
Sorry.
That's a word. That's definitely a line I'll be keeping in. Okay, right. Before we go on to what we're going to be talking about today, let's have a little word from our sponsors. And our sponsor is, of course, Doric Skateboards, a skateboard brand created by Gary Kemp, whose main focus is to explore the people and the culture of Aberdeen and the northeast of Scotland, and to create designs that reflect life in that area. Doric Skateboards screen print their own decks in their studio by Gary's fair hand, and they have produced some amazing designs over the years, including an Annie Lennox-inspired board, a Robert the Bruce deck, and a Plenty of Pop deck inspired by the old Bonaccord trucks that used to drive around Aberdeen delivering fizzy drinks. Doric Skateboards also replicate these amazing designs onto clothing on 100% organic cotton tees, hoodies, sweatshirts, and you can also fill your boots on stickers, pin badges, beanies, and caps. Gary regularly collaborates with local artists to ensure that he brings the latest designs to the market, but always with a Doric twist, including the Ballater Toy Shop design, inspired by Scotland the What, which we actually need to cover quite soon, Greg. So check out Doric Skateboards for yourself on doricskateboards.com, and you can follow them on Instagram at Doric Skateboards to see all the amazing designs on offer. And we are delighted to be able to offer you 15% off as listeners to this podcast. All you need to do is head to doricskateboards.com, have a look at all the amazing decks, stickers, badges, hoodies and tees on offer, and enter the promo code SWALLY. That's SWALLY, same as the name of this podcast, and get your 15% off. That's doricskateboards.com, link in the description of this episode. Okay, Greg, so it was your choice on this episode of the Culture Swally, so why don't you tell us what we're going to be talking about today?
So, I went for some people might say that it's not exactly a Scottish film, but it is directed by a Scottish director, and it does star a Scottish star, so I think it's valid, and it
has Scotland in the title.
It does, yeah. So I chose the 2006 historical drama directed by Kevin MacDonald, who is also one of the producers on Trainspotting, The Last King of Scotland, starring James McAvoy, Gillian Anderson, Forrest Whittaker, and Kerry Washington. So the film depicts the dictatorship of Ugandan President Idi Amin through the perspective of Scottish newly minted Dr. Nicholas Garrigan. Amin's played by Forrest Whittaker, and Garrigan's played by quite a young James McAvoy. The film also stars Simon McBurnley, who, despite having a Scottish name, is actually English. And the title refers to Amin's spurious claim being the King of Scotland, which is basically because he just liked Scotland having been part of a Scottish regiment. So, I hadn't seen this since it came out. What's your relationship to this one?
Yeah, I watched it when it first came out because you couldn't escape it. It was everywhere when it first came out. I think, obviously, based on, Forrest Whitaker's performance as Idi Amin, and of course won Best Actor at the Academy Awards that year. Well deserved as well, which we'll come on to later. And of course, because it was starring James McAvoy. And I think this was probably, we've debated before about McAvoy, about how he just suddenly appeared. Like he was this guy on Shameless, and then just all of a sudden. And I read quite a few reviews. This was only his second kind of Hollywood film.
Yeah.
Because, and a lot of the reviews I read were speaking about, it's got Forrest Whitaker and that guy that played Mr. Tumnus in the Chronicles of Narnia. So that was obviously his first Hollywood film, the fucking Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah.
But we'll come back to McAvoy because obviously he went on to do much greater things. So I watched it when it first came out. I'll be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of it. It was okay, but I didn't really like it. And I've never watched it again since until watching it for the Swally. So I've watched it a couple of times over this last week. I have to say it has grown on me a bit. I did enjoy it. I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it. I think what I enjoyed the most are the performances from Whittaker. I mean, he's just incredible as Idi Amin. Like, absolutely incredible. And to be fair, McAvoy delivers a great performance as well. Obviously, it's always lovely to see Gillian Anderson looking smoking hot in this film also. But yeah, it's an interesting story. But I think it does have its flaws, in a way. It's got quite a lot of flaws, actually. But, it's funny and it's brutal. It is funny though. There are a lot of funny lines. You know, when Nicholas first meets Amin, and you know they're speaking and realizes he's Scottish, and he goes, it's just Whittaker's delivery is beautiful when he's like, you know, why didn't you say so? Let me tell you, if I could be anything instead of Ugandan, I'd be a Scot. You know, we love the Scots. Apart from the red hair, we find that quite disgusting.
I couldn't hear myself think.
You took my gun.
Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm Dr. Nicholas Garrigan. I work at a medical compound in Magambo. I'm a doctor.
You are British.
Well, I'm Scottish. Yeah, I'm Scottish.
Scottish?
Yeah.
Why didn't you say so? I fought with the Scots against the Mau Mau. Great soldiers. Very brave. And good people. Completely. Let me tell you, if I could be anything instead of a Ugandan, I would be a Scot.
Right, really? Really?
Except for the red hair, which I'm sure is attractive to your women, but which we Africans, we find this quite disgusting.
And it's quite light-hearted kind of humour, but then obviously, I mean, paranoia gets the better of him when he turns into a fucking maniac. I thought they did quite a good job of, I mean, they painted him in quite a nice light until towards the end.
Yeah.
Like, it'll probably be a long time before I ever watch this film again, but I enjoyed watching it and revisiting it for the Swally, and I'm about to enjoy discussing it with you. So, yeah, I guess that's my kind of initial thoughts on Last King of Scotland. What about yourself?
Well, I'd actually read the book before I saw the film because, you know, the release and the hype that the film was getting, saw the book. I think it got republished and to sort of tie in with the film. So I'd read the book like a long time ago, like quite a long time before I saw the film, I think. And the film and the book are a little bit different, and so much so that I thought the book, until I was doing my research for the podcast, I thought the book I thought it was like an actually true story.
Okay,
and it's obviously not.
No,
you know, like it's you know a lot of the events that are depicted in the film did happen, such as Amin expelling all the Asians and, you know, the coup and various other bits and bobs. But you know, a lot of it is fictional. But
the coup that Nicholas shoots?
Yeah. So I did always think it was based on truth, and then when I saw the film, and you know the book, I don't think it doesn't go quite as far as the film in the sense of Garrigan's sort of seduction of the status that he gets from being Amin's doctor and all that kind of thing. It doesn't quite go that far, and I think the sort of finale of the book doesn't have Garrigan hanging by his tits in a duty-free shop from meat hooks. I think he manages to sort of slip away, I think. I don't know if the whole Entebbe hijack, I can't remember if that was how he managed to make his escape, or he just managed to get away from Uganda. But, you know, so like because the film went a wee bit too far down the sort of sensationalism of the character of Garrigan, when I watched it the first time, I thought it was fine, and I kind of understood why they had done what they had done in terms of the sort of departure from a lot of the narrative for the book, because, you know, exciting and everything else, and tension and drama. But I've never watched it since, and I think I must have, like, I watched it with my wife, so we were, I don't know if we were married at the time we watched it, we're definitely together, and I've not watched it since, so we're talking like at least 17 years. I was quite looking forward to watching it again, but I gotta be honest, like, McAvoy ruins this film for me a bit.
Oh, really?
Like you know, I know kind of young actor and everything, blah blah blah, but I think it's the way that it's the way that the story of the character goes. You know, he's a bit despicable. Like, really, do you know what I mean? Apart from when he's doing some doctoring in the hospital and stuff like that, but the whole on the bus and just, you know what I mean, like, here can shag those African birds and driving around in his wee Mercedes coupe that Amin's given him and all this kind of thing, and I don't know, and then when the wheels start to come off, you know, so there's the scene where around about the middle of the film when Amin decides that he wants Garrigan to drive him to the airport in his wee sports car, and then the car that he was supposed to be in is ambushed, and there's like a shootout and a lot of Amin's men are shot and stuff, and there's a scene, you know, where he's telling Garrigan to drive him away, to just drive straight through, and there's like a guy on the ground who's been shot. The Garrigan just drives over. I would have thought that would be the catalyst. You know what I mean? Like, if we're looking for a sense of realism here, you know, running over somebody who's lying kind of bleeding out on the road, it's not something that you just do every day. You know what I mean?
No.
And Ian, if you're forgetting that, like if you take that out of the equation and just the shootout that he manages to escape from, you know, like that would be the time to... He's still a bit cocky even after that, you know, and he's still, you know, and I just thought to myself, you know, they can, in reality, you know, so like by the time Garrigan is at risk and he's at threat and everything, I'm not really I didn't really care what happened to him. You know what I mean? I cared more about, I will say, there's a good chance that Nikki and I are going to pronounce a lot of African actors' second names like completely wrong. And you have to excuse our ignorance here, but like David Oeleo, I think I'm saying his name right, as Dr. Junju. Like, he's maybe in about half a dozen fairly short scenes, but I kind of cared more about him than I did about Garrigan by the end of the film. You know what I mean?
Spoiler alert, yeah, I was devastated when he got shot.
Yeah, and, you know, and you know, this is obviously, like, I'm taking a much less passive approach to watching the film this time than the first time I watched it, because the first time I watched it for the reason that we all watch films, to be entertained. This time I watched it for the podcast, so I was looking a bit closer at it and stuff. But I think McAvoy's been a lot better, but it made me think of some of his early performances. And I think I remember watching him in, I think it came out after this, a couple of years after this, it's based on the comic book Wanted with Angelina Jolie. That's not a good performance from him, that film.
I've never seen it. I won't watch anything with Jolie in it. She's up there with Lawrence, in my opinion. I think, yeah, you're right. I mean, he's not great in this, and he is... When I think back to maybe Shameless, he wasn't even that great in that. And as I say, Early Doors is a sitcom I love. And again, he's not great in that either. However, he obviously has developed his acting chops over the years. Because
sure.
But I think it takes a certain role. You know, I mean, obviously, Bruce Robertson in Filth.
Yeah.
He's just made for that role. Absolutely phenomenal. And the M. Night Shyamalan film Split. He's fucking brilliant in that as well.
He's very good in that. And the sequel, what's the sequel called? Glass?
Yes.
Yeah, he's really good in that, actually. Yeah, really good in it. But you know, I think about him doing his sort of Patrick Stewart impression in the X-Men X-Men prequels, and I'm just like, fucking, you know, it just feels like sort of lazy casting that. Oh, we need like a British actor that can do a good Patrick Stewart. And his Patrick Stewart impression's not even very fucking good. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're right. And obviously that, you know, we've covered Filth on the podcast like a couple of years ago. And yeah, I mean, he's fucking brilliant in that. Really, really good in that.
Yeah. I totally agree with you, though. It is difficult to feel kind of any sympathy for the character of Nicholas, because he is a bit of a despicable bastard. Like, I mean, fair play. He's arrived in Uganda and basically sleeps with the first girl he meets, you know? So obviously, you know, it's fine. It's a bit of a shagger, you know? So... Fair play to the lad. But he's basically left home to get away from his, like, controlling father, or father who looks down upon him. Because obviously that's the one scene that we have with them together, when his father effectively says, "Congratulations on your degree, but it's not as good as mine." You know?
Yeah.
But, so I can see why he would want to get out. But he spins the globe. First place he lands on, Canada. Fuck off. Go to fucking Canada. I'd love to go to Canada.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the, you know, top of my list in terms of going to Canada. Henry, if I ever make it there, I'll give you a shout. But then he spins it again in Uganda. Like, really? Was Uganda such an appealing place to go back in the 70s?
Well, he wants to go for an adventure, doesn't he? You know, and he's gone in there knowing nothing about the sort of political situation. You know, so he finds out when he arrives that there's just been that the military have just taken control of the country. Do you know what I mean? You think that would be a bit of a, I've made the right move here, you know? Yeah,
you would think he would kind of realise that in terms of, however... in a way, everyone he's speaking to is saying that, no, it's a good thing, because they all love Idi Amin. Like, he's going to be their saviour. And, you know, when he goes to the first rally with Sarah, Gillian Anderson's character, everyone's in raptures, and, you know, all, you know, it's like Tony Blair when he got into power. You know, everyone's just fucking swayed by how amazing this is going to be. And it's going to be, you know, better Britain. Everything's going to be amazing.
We just
compare Idi Amin to Tony Blair.
Just compared the rise of New Labour to Idi Amin, like... twisting to D Ream, celebrating.
I don't know. I didn't live through the rise of Idi Amin. I lived through the rise of New Labour.
Fuck's sake.
What? I don't know where I'm going with that. I'm no Tory, you know. Obviously, I'm no Labour supporter either. But I could see how he got swayed, because in terms of I thought that's one thing it did portray quite well, in terms of the way that Nicholas is a young, impressionable doctor. He's in a new country, and Idi Amin, Forrest Whittaker, is just so charming, and you can see how this young, impressionable doctor gets sucked into the prestige and the charisma of the dictator, and just really, because he's getting everything he wants and getting stuff thrown at him, and he is hesitant initially, but is he hesitant because he's trying to fire into Sarah and he's thinking he's going to get a crack at her? Which, to be fair, Amin does kind of say when he offers him the job, and he says no. He's like, it's the woman you were with, the woman.
It's the woman. The one I saw you with. You want to get back to be with her?
Oh, not entirely.
It's the woman. It's the woman. Why don't you tell her to come and be here with us?
Well, it's not that simple. It's quite complicated, actually.
Why? Is she married?
Yes, she is.
Doctor, you are very naughty.
Me?
Now you are even more interesting. Married woman, they are always the most passionate, huh?
You see, that's the other thing. That's the other thing that sort of steals a little bit of any empathy you might have for him. So, like, although we don't see much of Simon McBurnley's character, we see he's in a couple of short scenes and things. But obviously, he plays Scully's husband, and first chance that he gets, Garrigan's trying to fire into his wife. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, come on.
Yeah, you can see how he gets swept up in it. Like, he gets a great position, he gets a great car, but then it's almost, I agree with you, it's almost quite satisfying when it just the slow realization that he's fucked it, and he needs to get the fuck out of there. And it's a great scene when he goes into his apartment and it's been ransacked, and then there's just a fucking Ugandan passport lying on the table for him. I know. And you're like, oh, mate, you're fucked. Yeah. Like, you're absolutely fucked.
Yeah, so that is a good scene. So I will say that, just for a little bit of information for our listeners, so although they mentioned McAvoy's character, Nicholas Garrigan, is a fictional character, but the author of the book, Giles Foden, who also appears as one of the journalists at a press conference later in the film. He's got a few lines. He based, he took a little bit of the character of a real guy called Bob Astles, who had worked with Amin. So he took a little bit of him for the character, but he also took a little bit of the doctor Wilson Carswell, who was Scottish, but he was one of the first medical researchers to identify HIV and AIDS in Uganda.
Wow.
Something to put in your fridge. But yeah, I don't know. When somebody has an achievement in this house, we put it on the fridge.
That makes sense now. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Something to put on your fridge. I get it now. I don't have kids, so I don't know. I've never thought about that. But you're right.
I like the thought of him going back to Scotland and his mum has used a fridge magnet to put like a newspaper cutting up in the fridge about how her son discovered HIV and AIDS in Uganda. So yeah, there's a lot of fictional characters in it. But obviously, Amin is a real person, and as you mentioned at the beginning of the chat, very well played by Forrest Whittaker. Who's not a Scottish actor; he's an American actor. But I was thinking about his career, and one of the first films I ever saw him in was Good Morning Vietnam with Robin Williams, and then the next film that I saw him in after that was The Crying Game, where he plays a doomed spoiler alert, a doomed British soldier doing a pretty bad English accent. So I remember when he came, when he was in this film, and and all the hype about his performance, and then the awards hype, and then winning the Oscar, I was like, fucking hell, that's the guy out of Good Morning Vietnam. He sort of popped up. He's in Bloodsport, of course, like one of Van Damme's best films, chasing Van Damme around the streets of Thailand. I think Bloodsport's set in and things.
Yeah,
but it's never been particularly high profile roles that he'd had before before this, and he's not done a lot of like particularly high profile roles since, apart from maybe Rogue One, you know.
Yeah, I was maybe a bit more familiar with his work because the first film I probably ever saw him in was a film that I used to watch over and over again. I had it on tape. I must have taped it off TV, which is Stakeout.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He's in that as well.
No, he's in that as well, though. But I have watched that many times. One scene in particular when Phoebe Cates is coming out of the pool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Stakeout, and of course he is in my favourite Scorsese film, and I'll fight anyone. The Colour of Money.
Oh, of course.
He's got an amazing scene in that with Paul Newman.
Yeah.
Of course, he's in Platoon. He's in Ghost Dog, Way of the Samurai.
Oh, yeah.
And two films I love as well, Panic Room and Phone Booth. And, Phone Booth's a great film. It's a good film. What I kind of love, it's a little claustrophobic kind of film. I love Colin Farrell, Kiefer Sutherland, love Forrest Whittaker. Like you say, I know he's not Scottish, so I won't gush about him too much, but he's brilliant. And I think he deserved the Academy Award. When you think about Whittaker, though, and you watch him being interviewed and a lot of his other roles, he is he's a big guy, but he's such a softly spoken guy as well.
Yeah.
So for him to play this booming voice dictator and with the Ugandan accent, I think he just really ramps up his performance. But as the film goes on, the paranoia he displays is just outstanding. And that's something that I really paid attention to, and I really like the way he ramps it up. His when Nicholas tells him that he saw Jonah Wasawa in the bar speaking to a white guy and something didn't seem right, the expression on Whittaker's face is just incredible.
Yeah.
Like it's like almost rage, but suspicion and paranoia all kind of melded into one. And that's something that you just, give you the Oscar for that facial expression alone. It just conveys so much emotion in that moment. And yeah, I think it's great. And I think he does a really good job of kind of humanizing. I mean, look, we all know he was a despicable man. But like I said earlier, there's a few points in this film where you actually like him.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, he's a good guy. If you didn't know the horrible atrocities that he had committed, you'd almost be thinking, he's a good guy, when he's sitting there with all the pipers and he's got his kilt on and stuff, and you're thinking, good man. But yeah, he just does a really a great job. He just loses himself with the paranoia and the power. It just goes to his head, and I guess it really starts after the attack on his car, as you say. That kind of is when it really goes into it.
Yeah. So I looked up who he was up against in these Academy Awards, and I think the right choice was made in awarding him. But let me see what you think. So there's Leonardo DiCaprio for his role as Danny Archer in Blood Diamond.
Well, again, a kind of
shonky,
similar-ish
film
in a way in terms of exploiting African kind of.
It's a bit of a shonky South African accent that DiCaprio does in that film, though. Ryan Gosling was nominated for Half Nelson, which I've never seen, but I don't know.
That is a great film, actually. Yeah, no, that is brilliant. Yeah.
Peter O'Toole, so the veteran, incredibly famous British actor, for Venus, and Will Smith. I think this was Will Smith's first nomination as Chris Gardner in The Pursuit of Happiness, which is a film that I don't like. And I'll say it here now for everybody. I'll go on record as saying, even before he slapped Chris Rock, I've never really liked Will Smith that much. No, I mean, I'm honestly struggling to think of a Will Smith film that I really like. I really liked Bad Boys the first time I saw it when it first came out in the mid-90s.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But,
Bad Boys, yeah.
But I even find that a bit difficult to watch now. I still like Martin Lawrence in that, but yeah, Will Smith, right. Anyway.
Yeah, like if I was flicking channels and Bad Boys came on, I might watch 5-10 minutes. I tell you, actually, my favourite Will Smith film is Enemy of the State. Yeah,
that's a good one. It's a good film, that. And I've not seen it for a while, but maybe I'll go back.
But yeah, I don't think I would do that. I made a mistake on Saturday night, and you can tell I was just flicking channels. I'm thinking I'll go to bed in like 20 minutes, flicking channels. What's on? Heat.
Oh.
And that is the worst film, because it was whilst they're doing the heist in the metals factory, when it's Pacino and the crew are over the road with the infrared cameras, and you see De Niro outside, and the policeman leans on the trailer and his gun hits it, and De Niro's eyes dart. It's the worst film because you just keep thinking, right, I'll watch until the sit down in the cafe. And then you're like, right, well, I've got to watch the heist now.
Yeah.
And then you fucked it, and then by the end, before I knew it, the end credits were rolling. It's like fucking 2:30 in the morning and I'm going to bed. Anyway, we're not talking about heat here. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Will Smith either. Anyway, however, we're talking about the last King of Scotland and Idi Amin. Yeah, I have to agree with you. I didn't really care when like he turns on Nicholas and it is masterful from Whittaker when he's like, "Did you think this was all a game?"
Yeah.
And you white man think you could come here and play the white man. I'll go Africa and play the white man with the natives. Like, this is not a game, Nicholas. We are real. And you're thinking, go on yourself. So you're right. When he's getting strung up with meat hooks in the duty-free shop, but you're right. It's exactly what it is. It's the duty-free shop at the airport. And it's true. Like when he turns to him, it's so powerful. When Amin turns to him and says about you should have told me not to throw the Asians out.
Yeah.
And he's like, I did. He's like, yeah, but you did not persuade me.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me what to do.
You want me to tell you what to do?
Yes, you are my advisor. You are the only one I can trust in here. You should have told me not to throw the Asians out in the first place. I did, but you did not persuade me, Nicholas. You did not persuade me.
That's powerful in terms of the way he delivers that, and in terms of the paranoia that he's going through, and then that's when you kind of see Nicholas realizing, fuck, what have I got into here?
Yeah, and he is better, I think, McAvoy, in the last sort of 40 minutes or so of the film, when, the risk he's sort of realised the risk and the jeopardy that he's put himself in, and he tries to make a few amends. The whole storyline with him and Kay, played by Kerry Washington, the American actress, and he gets her pregnant and all that kind of thing. I mean, none of that's in the book. And it's sort of, you're just like, I mean, how many fucking stupid decisions are you going to make? Yeah. There's nothing worse than watching a movie where the lead character just keeps fucking up scene after scene after scene. Tries to fire into Scully. Well, that's a fucking mistake. Drives over a guy who's bleeding to death on the street. Fucking shags Idi Amin's wife, goes into an affair with her, gets her pregnant. You're like, fuck me. And then tries to poison them in the most obvious fucking way possible. Yeah. With a packet of pills see the guy that plays, I meant to look this up and I forgot. The guy who plays the character who sort of tumbles the tablets are maybe dodgy, and it's like the guy
Masanga.
Yeah, it's like the actor who's in Layer Cake, who plays one of Daniel Craig's gang in Layer Cake, beats a guy up.
Honestly, it must be about 20 years since I've seen Layer Cake. It's one of those films that I keep meaning to watch again, but I've never got round to, because I end up just watching Heat for the fucking 30th time.
Yeah,
but
Top Gun Maverick.
Or Top Gun Maverick 3 times this year I've watched that film. We're only in March. Yeah, I don't know, to be honest, but I do recognise him, definitely. So, but I'm not 100% certain. But yeah, the character is Masanga. Yeah. You're right. I mean, does he have an obsession with fucking his boss's wife? Because he tries to crack on at Sarah and then obviously fucks Amin's wife. I mean, that's the last person you want to be mucking around with.
No, I know.
In terms of Kerry Washington's character, Kay, I mean, that did actually happen in terms of she did get pregnant by someone, but it was a Ugandan doctor.
Yeah.
And she went to get a backstreet abortion and the abortionist fucked it up and killed her accidentally, and then did dismember her body and chuck it in a ditch. Yeah. But they did find her body, but they didn't reassemble it the way that they showed in the film, which was when she had her arms for her legs and her legs for her arms. They did reassemble her the correct way. Right. And yeah. But so they took a little of artistic license with that. Yeah.
I mean, she's had a storied career, Kerry Washington. Really good actress. Like I really liked her in, I know it's not your favourite Tarantino, but it's one of my favourite ones, Django. She's as Broomhilda von Shaft. She's just pure fucking Tarantino. I liked her in that. But she's good in this. But then I did wonder, I mean, if this film was made now, there's a bit of, they get a bit twitchy when it's not, like if they made this film now and it wasn't a Ugandan actress playing Kay, I think there might be some hand wringing and some finger pointing. But the first time that I saw this, I wasn't as familiar with Kerry Washington, so I just assumed that she was a Ugandan actress. You know, I think she's good. I think she plays the part well.
So in real life, Idi Amin did refer to himself as the last king of Scotland because he was absolutely fascinated with the country, and he sent men over to Scotland to learn how to play the bagpipes. And he had them all wearing kilts at certain events, so that is true.
Yeah.
The reason he liked Scotland was because our antagonism with the English.
Yeah.
So when Britain broke ties with Uganda, he took the title that he was the last king of Scotland, which is what this film is named after, of course.
Yeah.
He did give himself a quite unique title, though. Do you know his the full title that Idi Amin gave himself?
Is it like sort of father of Uganda or something like that? Or
it's His Excellency President for Life, Field Marshal Al-Haji Dr. Idi Amin, VC, DSO, MC, Lord of all the beasts of the earth and fishes of the sea, and conqueror of the British Empire in Africa in general and Uganda in particular. That was his full title. Lord of all of the beasts of the earth and fishes of the sea. What is he, fucking Aquaman? That's a hell of a title you're going to give yourself.
I know. If you could give yourself an ostentatious title like that, what would you do?
Oh, you've put me on the spot there. I don't know. His Excellency, President of Podcast, lover of all animals and ladies, the Texas Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin. The People's Champion, the smeller of what is cooking, lover of Iron Brew, and kilt-wearing badass motherfucker. What about you? What would you go for?
Oh, I don't know. King of Beers. King of Beers.
I think Budweiser have got that already, haven't they?
Yeah, but I take it back off them because they've got no fucking right calling that sugar-filled pish fucking king of anything. I wouldn't fucking rinse my drains with it.
We're going off track here, and we've done that a lot in this episode. Yeah. It shows how much we care about this fucking film. I was speaking to someone yesterday, and they were like, I don't really like American beer. Can you name any? And I was like, Miller, Budweiser,
Michelob,
Blue Ribbon. Oh, Michelob. I forgot about Michelob.
Rolling Rock.
I was like, do you still get that? I used to love Rolling Rock. I don't even get that anymore.
The only person that I know who drinks Rolling Rock is the YouTube celebrity Angry Video Game Nerd. I don't know if you've ever seen any of his clips. But basically he just plays old games that are really fucking difficult. There were sometimes games in the past were fucking just ridiculously hard. And there was, and he plays them and gets annoyed and drinks Rolling Rock. That's basically his whole shtick.
Let's have a look for that if you can still get that. I used to love Rolling Rock.
Yeah, no, I don't like. I find American beers usually make me puke because there's a lot of sugar in them. It's like Heineken Export, too much sugar for my delicate constitution.
Sorry, we're coming up with your title that you would give yourself.
Yeah, no, but it's fine because I can't think of anything.
At the beginning of the film, when they're on the bus, the Ugandan lady that McAvoy's about to rattle, she does ask him, do you have monkeys in Scotland? And he says, if we had monkeys in Scotland, we'd probably deep fry them.
Yeah.
Now, was that the case in 1970s? Like, I know chip shops were around, but the deep frying craze of deep frying stuff didn't start until later, I would have thought.
It feels like that was a bit of a wink to the Scottish audience, just to remind us that, you can still call this a Scottish film if you want. The director's Scottish, the actor's Scottish, plenty of Scottish content in it. Did you like the sort of jazzy version of Take the High Road? You Take the High Road.
Loch Lomond.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, Loch Lomond.
I did, yeah, the Ugandan version I did. Honestly, Greg, I'm kind of laughing at that, but when I was writing my notes, I was writing down, I was like, take the high road. And I was like, that's fucking Loch Lomond, of course it is. Like, fucking idiot. But yeah, I did quite like that, actually. It was nice. Yeah. I'm not going to put it on my Spotify playlist or anything. I mean, I don't even use Spotify, so obviously it'd be very difficult, but I'm not going to put it on that. But it was quite nice. Quite liked it.
It occurs to me that I was a lot more articulate on the last episode of the podcast when I had drank about a third of a box of red wine, whereas on this episode all I'm drinking is water because it's a school night and I'm fucking falling all over myself.
Again, I mean, what I will say about this film is, like, it's insanely paced.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours long, but it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
It just keeps going. However, one thing I think they did very badly, the events of this film, if you look at from the timeline of Amin coming into power through to the hijacking of that aircraft, it's 5 years that takes place. Whereas this film, it makes it feel like it's just a few months.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Like, it doesn't feel like 5 years. And I don't know if they've done that on purpose or if they've just messed up the timeline, but it genuinely feels like he's been there maybe 3-4 months before he gets fed up, but not a case of 5 years.
Yeah, I think the book did a bit of a better job of sort of sticking to timelines and things. But yeah, it's a kind of yeah, you're right. Like all these like huge world-shaking events all happen in the space of a couple of weeks from, Amin coming to power, sort of credited as the saviour of Uganda, a popular choice, to, creating this climate of fear in the country, people going missing, British interest, like when they try to sort of get, and Stone tries to get Garrigan to be a bit of a spy to I think there's even the scene where he suggests that that Stone kill him, right? That Garrigan kills him,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the expulsion of the Asians from Uganda to the hijacking and everything. Yeah, it's but I suppose it depends on how you see it. If you're looking for like a true to life sort of record of that time in history, then this is probably not the reference point for you.
No, definitely not. I think if you want to know any more about Idi Amin and the struggle that Uganda had under his power, then I wouldn't recommend this. You might as well watch Braveheart if you're wanting to know about William Wallace.
Yes,
although that is a lot more true to life actually than this. Yeah, like you get Gillian Anderson in for this film. What happens? She's in a few scenes, then she just vanishes, and then the next year she's in a bus with like fleeing. Like,
yeah, that's so weird.
Nothing in between. But I guess there wasn't really a need for her to be in the story anymore. But yeah, you would have thought there would be some sort of check-in. She would maybe check to see how Nicholas was doing, or see if he was okay, try and talk him round, because she was obviously very much against. You can tell from the initial when they're at his kind of speech, and he is promising everything in terms of new hospitals, new schools, new houses. He's promising the world to Uganda, but she can see right through it. And you would think that she would really try and persuade him, but she just vanishes, and the next you see her, she's on the back of the bus, just giving him a dirty look out the window.
Yeah, I know, exactly. And he's, I guess he spots her because of her red hair. She sort of stands out amongst the other people in the bus. But yeah, I don't know. If she does feel, what would she have been doing round about then? X-Files was finished, although I think they did do another X-Files film after this. And then they brought X-Files back, right, a few years ago for a while. Yeah, they did, yeah. This was before...
Because she had a bit of resurgence in terms of like The Fall, and I think she was in The Crown and stuff as well.
She faced Thatcher in The Crown, I believe.
But that was a bit later on. So around about this time, I don't know, to be perfectly honest.
I'm not sure, but she, she's a great actress. I always had like a real crush on Gillian Anderson ever since that FHM issue.
Oh yes, everyone had that FHM issue.
Yeah.
Everyone had that issue.
I think that was the only reason I started watching the X-Files. I think I saw the FHM issue first. But yeah, unfortunately, there was never any scenes of her in her underwear in the X-Files.
No.
And then Kevin MacDonald. So, Kevin MacDonald probably for us, he was one of the producers on Trainspotting and Shallow Grave.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But he has made a very successful career as a director, but a lot of his work are documentaries. There's one, when I was looking him up for this, there's one that I'd quite like to watch. I don't know if it's podcast worthy, but there's one called Chaplin's Goliath that he made in 1996. And it's a film about Eric Campbell, who was a tall Scottish actor, and he was famous for playing the quintessential villain in a lot of Charlie Chaplin's films when he was playing his famous tramp character. It's got Bill Patterson in it.
Okay.
He narrates it. So Jimmy Logan's in it talking about him and stuff because it's quite old. But he's done, maybe I'll watch it and decide if it's podcast worthy. But I think probably his most famous one is Touching the Void, about the mountain climbers. But there's a good one that I watched of his called One Day in September that's about the Munich Olympics and the kidnapping of the Israeli athletes and how it all went wrong. But yeah, he's a really interesting director, and doing a lot of quite obscure, not that well known stuff, but mixed in with some really quite high profile stuff. Like, he directed that film about Whitney Houston in 2018, which was quite successful, which again is another documentary. But then with this film, like, you mentioned the pace of it earlier on. Like, his documentaries are very, like, I've seen a couple of them, and they're not slow, but they're very deliberate. He takes his time. If it's about a real life, if he's like a real life event or a person, he gets everybody they can, and it gives them a lot of screen time. But with this, like you said, like a lot of quite short scenes, especially the scenes sort of shot outside. When Amin's when they're putting on some sort of event or whatever. But he seems more interested in the sort of dynamic between the characters in his film than he does about the sort of the more action oriented parts of it,
I think that's where the main strength of the film comes from, the scenes between Nicholas and Amin, because you can see the relationship develop and blossom, and there's little tiny bits, like when Amin comes and gives him his car, and he's like, yeah, come on, and take me to the airport, and they come in and get changed, and you can see Nicholas a bit wary about getting his cock out and putting his trousers on, and there's like little glance between the two of them. It's a bit kind of weird. I think it's important that they have a lot of just those two-handed scenes. And you can see the relationship change throughout the film as it develops. And I think that works really well, to be fair. Yeah,
and it's sort of I think it kind of comes from his sort of documentary directing chops. He's interested in people as opposed to the sort of the kind of bombast and action and all that kind of thing. Because like the scenes, like even the scene, which I don't really like the scene. But the scene when Garrigan and Amin first meet, and Garrigan shoots the cow. And he's just able to pick up a handgun off a car, take the safety off, and he knows exactly where to shoot a cow in the head to kill it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The fact he's grabbed Amin's gun, taken a few paces over to the cow, and not a single soldier has, they all are watching him like a hawk. Not one of them has thought to shout and shoot him.
Yeah.
And you're right, exactly that. He's a guy from Edinburgh who's probably never seen a gun before has suddenly been able to pick up this pistol, switch the safety off. You're right, shoot the cow in the head twice, and not fucking go flying with the recoil on that gun. It's a bit unrealistic, and again shows no remorse in terms of killing the cow. Right?
Yeah, I know, exactly.
It was in pain, but still.
I know, but you'd feel like shit. I mean, and the thing is, it's not like if the character had grown up on a farm, for example, you might be like, oh, right, fair enough. But he obviously has grown up in a fairly privileged household. They've got the old, probably Victorian or older house. You know what I mean? These very well-to-do family. That scene that you mentioned earlier, with him and his mum and dad's having dinner after he's graduated, is all very prim and proper. So it's a bit of a leap of the imagination to think that he could suddenly just pick up a handgun and shoot a cow dead. To put it in its misery.
Yeah, definitely, you're right. Yeah.
So, I guess, this is one that, another one that hasn't really blown us away. It sort of joins Malevolent on the sort of meh kind of list of films. Fairly short meh list, I would say, but still.
I'd rather watch Malevolent again just for Florence Pugh, to be quite honest, in her tight jeans than watch this again, but never mind. These things happen on the Swally. But it's okay. I can see why it probably got a lot of acclaim at the time, because of the performances, and because I guess it's different, because at that time, but I guess that was the thing back then, because as you mentioned, one of the other Academy Award contenders was Blood Diamond, which, again, is set in an African country, and films do go through trends like that. So I guess that was just the time. And I think based on McAvoy, this kind of being one of maybe his breakout role, and Whittaker's performance, and it's all exciting, and it's all Uganda, and it's all, oh, look at the black man in a kilt type thing. Like, I guess that's why it kind of maybe did get so much coverage. But I remember not really enjoying it when I first saw it. And I'll be honest, I didn't really enjoy it watching it again. So
Yeah.
Never mind.
No, I know. And I think it's probably, like, unfortunately for McAvoy, I guess that this was sort of like his peak, maybe, because he's not quite as... I don't think it's would say he's quite got the star power that he once had, but that Chronicles of Narnia, Last King of Scotland, Starter for 10, and then Atonement in 2007. I think Atonement really I've not seen it, but obviously he's in that with Keira Knightley, and I think I remember that being a really big deal, Atonement, when it came out, and I think it got a lot of awards and stuff. Like I watched him in It Chapter 2 as Bill Denborough, and I just thought, no, I just, it's just like, I know the book so well, and I know that the book's set in the 50s, and the film, this recent modern version of the film, is set in the 1980s with the kids in the modern day. But the Bill Denborough who lives in my mind doesn't look anything like James McAvoy, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, yep, that's The Last King of Scotland. Shall we put it through our Swally Awards?
Yeah, let's do it then, Greg. What have we got first?
Okay, so the first award then is the Bobby the Barman Award for the best pub.
This is the duty-free shop at the airport. That counts, really, is it?
I don't know if McAvoy would agree. Well, I went for the one... I've called it African Disco Club because I didn't see the name, but it's the one where...
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, you're right.
Where he spots...
it's in the Holiday Inn.
Yeah, that's right. In the Holiday Inn where he spots the former health minister... having a conversation and thinks that he's doing something he shouldn't be doing. Next award then is the James Cosmo Award for being in everything Scottish. Only really one clear choice here, isn't it?
Rafferty.
Got to be Rafferty all day long.
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, she's only got, 2 lines? But of course, there's no one else.
No, there's no one else. Next then, the Jake McQuillan Your Teazoot Award. I went with... the poor cow getting shot.
Well, I had Nicholas manhandling Masanga in the hospital when he's going for the doctor. And because that was the only... He just shoves him.
Yeah.
However, over this discussion we've had, I've changed my mind and I'm making a late call on this.
Right.
If you think about it, Nicholas has tried to poison Idi Amin. He's fucked his wife and got her pregnant, which has ended up with her getting a dodgy abortion and she's died and got dismembered. If anything... him getting the meat hooks in his nipples, that's a fucking teazoot for Nicholas. He deserves that. Like, really, if you think about it, he deserves it. So fuck, I'm changing to that.
All right, fair enough. The next then, the Ewan McGregor's Award for gratuitous nudity.
I just went with McAvoy getting his wee James out and he's changing.
Getting his wee Jimmy out.
His wee Jimmy. There's a few occasions, but yeah, that's the one that seems a little bit, kind of over the top for me.
Yeah, I went... with Kerry Washington's arse.
Oh yeah, when they're lying in bed, they are. Yeah, it's just there. Yeah.
Okay, the next one then, the Francis Begbie Award for gratuitous swearing.
What did you go for?
So I need to just pull this up because it's a bit of a long one. So it's just before Garrigan is strung up in the duty-free shop, Amin says to him, "You dare to try and poison me after everything I gave you. I am Idi Amin, President for Life and ruler of Uganda." He does, he cuts his full title down a little bit just for time. "I am the father of Africa," and Garrigan says, "You're a child. You have the mind and the ego of an angry, spoiled, uneducated child, and that's what makes you so fucking scary." I thought that was a good one. What did you go for?
Yeah. I think it's when Nicholas is talking to Stone and Stone asks for clarifications and McAvoy, "Fuck your clarifications, Stone. Fuck them." Which I just quite liked because he was at a pool full of kids and he's just shouting bad language. It's, it's uncalled for, really. It's not necessary.
Not necessary, yeah. I think Stone does get his own back when Garrigan is sort of thrown himself on his mercy. He tells him to fuck off. Next then, archetypal Scottish moment.
It has to be. I mean, there's a few, obviously, in this, despite it not being a Scottish film, but for me, it has to be, and Greg, you must experience this all the time. I've always experienced this. I remember always as a kid experiencing this going on holiday. I experience it here in Amsterdam.
I've got the same thing here.
You are British? No, I'm Scottish. Ah, Scottish! Why didn't you say so? Every Scot abroad, ever.
Yeah, I've got...
Every time, go to a Turkish restaurant or you go to Spain, they look at you with disdain. "Ah, you English? No, Scottish." "Ah, Scottish!" Everyone loves us.
Yeah, I've written worldwide popularity. So I added another category, maybe just for this one, or maybe it's one that we'll keep in. So and I've taken it off another podcast, but it's so I could bring this up. Best life lesson you learned from The Last King of Scotland.
Don't go to Uganda.
So I think Didn't put that. I put...
Don't fuck your boss's wife.
So for me, I put, if you're fleeing a country covertly and you manage to sneak onto the aeroplane, maybe don't sit by the fucking window before the plane takes off.
That's a very good point, actually. A very good point. Yeah, you're right.
I'd be like lying.
I don't look out the window.
I'd be lying on the floor until we were up in the air. Okay, and then the last one then is the Big Sean Award. Who wins the film for you?
I mean, he's not Scottish, but it's Forrest Whittaker.
Yeah, all day long. All day long. I like, there's a little scene that we didn't talk about, but when McAvoy goes to see him after discovering that Kay's been killed, and they're all sitting in the room watching Deep Throat, like deep in concentration. And he says, right, you can go. We are busy here. Busy watching Deep Throat.
Is it true she has a clitoris in her throat?
Is this possible? Anyway, that was The Last King of Scotland, and that was my choice for episode 98. We're getting really close to that big...
No, I think it's... this is 96.
Oh, 96. Well, we're getting tantalisingly close to our 100th episodes, but before we get to there, it's your choice for the next one. So what are we watching?
Well, I think we need something a bit light-hearted, Craig, because on the last 3 episodes, we've had spooky girls in basements, we've had cancer and ending your own life, we've had genocide in Uganda.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm going to pick something a little light-hearted, and I'm going to pick something I've wanted to pick for a while. So strap in, Greg. We're going back to our childhoods on the next episode of the Culture Swally, and we're going to cover a series that ran from 1985 to 1987. There were 27 episodes in total.
Fucking hell, in 2 years.
It's Super Gran.
She's a serious granny.
However, I'm not going to make us watch 27 episodes of Super Gran. So I have picked 5 episodes that we're going to watch and we'll discuss on the Swally. But we'll get into the background of Super Gran on this as well.
Brilliant.
And they're all available on YouTube. The entire 27 episodes are available on YouTube. If any of our listeners really want to go and watch all 27, as I say, I've picked 5, but I've got a funny feeling I'll end up watching a few more. So, episodes I want to pick are Series 1, Episode 1, Super Gran and the Magic Ray. So the pilot episode, you have to start with that. Series 1, Episode 3, Super Gran and the Course of True Love, which guest stars
Billy Connolly. Yeah, I remember that one, yeah. Series
1, Episode 6, Super Gran Grounded, which guest stars Jeff Capes. Series 1, Episode 12, Super Gran and the Raving Beauty Contest, which guest stars Lulu. And we'll wrap up with the final episode, Series 2, Episode 13, Super Gran and the Heir Apparent, which stars Patrick Troughton and Barbara Windsor.
Fuck me.
I really wanted to pick the episode that guest starred Gary Glitter, but I thought I better leave that out.
Don't want to give him any coverage. He's more than capable of getting his own press.
So there we go. So yeah, we're going to cover those 5 episodes of Super Gran on the next episode of the Culture Swally.
Brilliant. Can't wait.
Can't wait. Right, well, thank you very much for listening, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed it more than we enjoyed watching Last King of Scotland. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can. You can email us on cultureswally@gmail.com if you've got any news stories you'd like us to cover, or if you've got anything you'd like us to cover, or if you've got just want to get in touch and say hello, please feel free. You can also follow us on Insta @cultureswallypod, or you can follow us on X/Twitter @SwallyPod. And we have a wonderful website as well, don't we, Greg?
You can find us at cultureswally.com for links to all the episodes, some articles about Scottish media, and a wee 4-parter about Big Tam himself, Sean Connery. Come and check us out there. And you can get in touch with us through the website too.
Fantastic. Okay, right. Well, wonderful. Well, you enjoy yourself because your mum's coming over, I think, next week. So we are banking this episode. So we've got a few weeks before we'll be recording the Super Gran episode. So
we have indeed.
You've got plenty of time to get that watched.
Brilliant. Well, until next time.
Till next time.
Look at you. Is there one thing you have done that is good? Did you think this was all I came? I will go to Africa and I will play the white man with the natives. Is that what you thought?
We are not a game.